screen's going to be blank for a while, but I'm going to be reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Ugly Truth, and I'll be stopping at certain points maybe, even if, but I'll make sure it's at every sentence, so I'm not just going to half the sentence, just stop it, that's just weird. Okay, so for now, oh yeah, the reason why it's blank is because I don't want to show my face. September, Thursday. It's been almost 2.5 weeks since me and my ex-best friend Rowdy Jefferson had our big fight. To be honest with you, I thought he would have come crawling back to me by now. But for some strange reason, that hasn't happened. I'm actually starting to get a little concerned because school starts back up in a few days, and if we're going to get this friendship back on track, something needs to happen quick. If me and Rowdy really are through, that would stink, because the two of us had a pretty good thing going. Now that our friendship is history, I'm in the market for a new best friend. The problem is I invested all my time in Rowley, and I don't have anyone lined up to take his place. The two best options I have at this point are Christopher Brownfield and Tyson Sanders, but each of these guys has his own issues. I hang out with Christopher for the last few weeks of the summer, mostly because he's really excellent mosquito magnet. But Christopher is more of a summertime friend than a school year friend. Tyson is nice though, and we like the same video games, but he pulls his pants all the way down when he uses the urinal. And I don't know if I can ever get past that. The only kid my age who's not paired up with someone is Fregley, but I ruled him out as best friend material a long time ago. I bet I can fit 2 foot in my mouth. Anyway, I'm still keeping the door open a crack for Rowley, just in case. But if he wants to save this friendship, he better do something fast. Because with the way things stand, he's not gonna come out looking very good in my autobiography. With my luck though, I'm going to be rich and famous, and Riley will still find a way to ride my coattails. Saturday. The reason I didn't see things changing between me and Rowley is because he's already found himself a replacement friend. Or to be more accurate, his parents did. For the past few weeks, Rowley's been hanging out with this teenager named Brian. Whenever I go to Rowley's house, he's out in his front yard throwing football or frisbee with a guy who looks like he's in high school or college. Well, I did some poking around and found out that this Brian guy isn't just some normal kid from the neighbourhood. He's part of a company called Cool Brian, which is sort of like a big brother for hire kind of thing. In fact, I'd be willing to bet money this guy's name isn't even really Brian. Mum said she thinks Cool Brian thing is a great idea because it gives kids a role model they can look up to. That makes me kind of mad because the way I see it, I'm Rowley's role model. And now Rowley's parents are paying some guy to do what I've been doing all these years for free. The thing that really burns me is Rowley probably doesn't even know his parents are paying this guy to spend time with him. And I don't think it would bother Rowley if he did know the truth. Today I saw Rowley hanging out with a different Cool Brian. So Rowley's regular guy must have had a day off, but I could tell Rowley didn't even notice. Tuesday. Today was the first day of school. I don't want to jinx things, but it's looking like this is going to be a great year for me. In homeroom, we got our textbooks for the semester. My school can't afford to get new textbooks every year, so I usually get hand-me-downs. But when you get a book that 10 kids had before you, it makes it kind of hard to do any actual learning. Usually, I have really bad luck when it comes to previous book owners. Last year, I got a maths book that belonged to Brian Hughes. And that didn't exactly up my cool factor in the hallways. But this year, I totally lucked out. When I got my maths book, I found it used to belong to Jordan Jury. Jordan Jury is the most popular kid in the grade above me, so I carried his textbook around to translate me into some major popularity points. One reason Jordan is so popular because he always had these big blow-up parties and it's really hard to get invited. But I figured this algebra book could be just the thing I need to get on his radar. Speaking of popular kids, I sat near Bryce Anderson and his group of friends at lunch today. Bryce is basically the Jordan Joy of my grade, and he's got a bunch of friends who are always going along with everything he says. And those guys are loyal to Bryce, no matter how dumb he makes them look. See, Bryce Anderson has the right idea. He doesn't actually need a best friend because he's got a bunch of lackeys who basically worship him. The reason me and Riley didn't make it is because we are equal partners in our friendship. And I don't think that kind of model has a chance of working out. At school, I heard Rowley tell some kid he was going to a rock concert tonight. I admit it, I was a little jealous, because I've never been to a real concert myself. But then I found out he was performing. I was glad I wasn't invited. Still, it kind of irks me that Rowley is having more fun than I am. In fact, it seems like everyone is having more fun than me these days. There are some kids in my grade who post their pictures online. And from the look of things, they're all having a way better time than I am. I don't want people thinking my life is lame. I decided to take some pictures to show how great things are going for me. All you really need is a digital camera and a photo editing program, and you can make it look like you're having a total blast. Tonight, I was right in the middle of creating a wild New Year's party scene when I got busted by Mum. Oh well, Mum won't let me post photos on the computer anyway, because of privacy and all that. Or maybe it's because she learned her lesson after letting my older brother Roderick post his pictures. Roderick has been trying to get a job so he can buy a new drum set, but nobody will hire him. Mum told him that nowadays employers look up the people they're thinking of hiring, and his pictures are probably hurting his chances. So Roderick replaced his band pictures with this one. This year, everyone in my grade has to take advanced health, which covers some top secret stuff that I guess they didn't think were ready for until now. In the first few classes, the boys and girls were mixed together, but today Nurse Powell said she was going to split us up. She sent the girls down to Mrs. Gordon's room, and she put in a video for us boys to watch. Okay, that was page 17. I stopped one in the middle of that page, and I will be reading what she wrote for tomorrow. So, please subscribe and to check back onto the next anyways. Ruth, oh,